Hi everybody, this is your lesson about how to create effective slides versus slides that we may have created in the past. So if you look at your research project assignment sheet, down here at the bottom, the last 2 pages, I kind of have some samples of what I'm looking for you to have um, slides that don't have a lot of words on them because you have to relay the information through your notes to the class about the subjects that you are looking at. So this right here is an effective slide. And I'm going to use some research about McCarthyism to show you what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm going to go over to my search process. I'm going to go to high school, library. We've done this before. Database subscriptions. I'm going to type in 123 Red Raiders. Yay, I spelled it right. Password is search. So what I'm going to use today for you is one of the databases called Opposing Viewpoints in Context. And it's actually located in the middle underneath reference. And we're going to look at McCarthyism today because I know I've done a lot from the other subjects. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to go to advanced search, and you can do this on any of the other databases that you wish. All it does is really narrow down your search. So I'm going to search for McCarthyism. Yay, I spelled it right, I think, maybe. And the cool thing about this particular database is that it separates all of the articles that they find into different types of research. So viewpoints up here, reference, which is what you really want to start with because you may not know a lot about McCarthyism, all the way down to primary sources, which is really neat because those are the actual sources from the actual time period that were present that they have access to. So that's really neat. You can see the actual documents. So for this particular screencast, we're just going to go up here to McCarthyism. I want to know what it is. So here I have a little tiny article, and it's very short, about McCarthyism, okay? So let's just say this is what many of us tend to do. Many of us tend to do this. Okay, this is going to tell us about McCarthyism. I'm going to go over to my sample project that I started. I'm sorry I say a lot. I get nervous. So there we go. Many of you will put your slides, you'll make them look like this, McCarthyism. Of course I spelled it wrong. So this right here is an ineffective slide. I don't want to see all of those words. I don't even want to see, oh, look, it looks like this. I don't want to see that. This is what you need to do with your research. So, bad. So we're going to delete that. And what you have to do, and this is what some of us struggle with, we actually have to read through this and say, okay, what's the main idea? What are my points that I can put on a slide that's going to direct me to talk about this? So if I say in February 1950, as Cold War tensions intensified, Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin charged that recent foreign policy reverses could be explained by the presence of communists in the U.S. State Department, and he began naming names. He could not substantiate his charges and never exposed a single spy, but the careers of many were ruined. McCarthyism is the term that came to be applied to such irresponsible accusations. So let's just say I wanted to say, okay, I'm going to talk about this. So over here, I'm going to say, okay, the main idea here that I could use as a prompting idea would be something like, what is it? I mean, and that's very, very simple. If you have this on your slide, as you can see, I like to make things a little bit bigger. And then maybe I want to click out of this, and that way I can see my bullet. What is it? That way in your notes, you can actually say some of the things that you have written down here. That is what an effective slide is about, okay? So let's just say I want to go back and I want to know more about the man behind McCarthyism, and his name was Joseph Raymond McCarthy. So here I have an article, and of course I can listen to it being read to me, but I'm going to go ahead and look through this and say, okay, I have a lot of information here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, next, Senator Joseph McCarthy. that's all I need on my slide. I don't need to put anything else. In my notes, I'm going to use this article to explain who he was and why he did what he did. Maybe I want to include this quote here. You are totally allowed to include a quote. I know that exceeds your word limit, but that is allowed to happen. Because let's just say it's a picture, okay? And you can talk about what this quote means in relation to McCarthyism, okay? And what I'm also going to do today is I'm going to maybe copy this image, and I'm going to put it over on my slide too. I'm going to make this nice and pretty. And this is what we need to do now. This is a great opportunity for me to show you a little bit about how it's so easy to take information from someone else, but you have to give them credit for it. So here I go in the article that I'm using information from. My source citation is right here at the bottom. So I'm going to click on that, and we're going to copy and paste it over here. Okay, so McCarthy is the title of the article. I know it's his name, but it's in quotation marks. So over here, underneath Senator Joe McCarthy, I'm actually going to do this instead. I'm going to insert a text box so that it's kind of tiny, and I'm going to write McCarthy, because of course I spelled it wrong. McCarthy. So that tells me that this information that I'm going to talk about right here came from this source. Okay. Also, this guy here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down a little bit. This guy here, I could actually say copy. I don't know if this will work, but oh, good. So then I'm going to move that. Oops. I'm going to move that over here so that I put that underneath my picture, so that I know that that picture came from that source. Now, what did we make a mistake of doing? Oh, also this came from that source as well. So you could actually take this and put it right underneath. So that means that both of these, this information, the quote and this, all the facts about Senator Joe McCarthy came from this particular article. So now I forgot to cite my source for what is McCarthy. That was a different article I looked at. So I'm going to go back, and I know that I was in this one. And I'm going to go down and say, okay, here's my source citation. I'm going to copy. Oops. Copy and paste. I always like to leave a double space in between them so they're not all flowing together. And what I could actually do is just this. I can copy and paste that into there. So I know that all of these facts came from this article, and all of these facts, which is a little bit different, came from this article. So I have done a correct, of course I spelled it wrong, I've done a correctly cited and effective slide. For more information, please let me know, but please use this as a guide to creating effective, beautiful, creative slides. Good luck!